Hello. So we're going to do a little bit of a short heart opening practice, get some energy into the lungs. We all could use a little bit of support for lung functioning. These days, the lungs are also a way of awakening ourselves to the vibratory energy of life, the vibrancy of life. We want to invoke the capacity for more vitality and wellness and radiance in our life. So we'll do a little bit of a heart opening practice. Those of you who know Ujjayi breath, please do that. We're going to do mostly near the floor. This is really from a technical point of view, doing this from a phone rather than my computer. So it's a little harder to frame when I'm doing the whole thing from a standing position. So be nice and low to the ground, nice deep heart openers, and imagine when you're breathing into these kind of opening spaces of the heart that you are bringing in radiance, you're bringing in vitality, you're bringing in illumination. And we're doing this for ourselves and also as a way of visualizing this capacity for all people. We want to be model energetically that ripples, that this is the energetic ripple. Okay, I always love to start in cat-cow. It's one of my favorite things to do. So let's take a few moments to do that. But before we do, just a moment of settling into the heart. Close your eyes and just take a couple of deep breaths. One home together, please. Take a breath in. Very good. Release your hands, open your eyes. Hands and knees position. So on the inhale, we're opening up the chest, looking up, the low back tips in, sitting bones widening. Exhale, moving down through the hands, round your back, gaze to the heart. Then inhale, open the chest. Exhale, rounding. And then continue moving with the speed of your breath. Now, if you pull with your hands on the inhale, you can start to feel the latissimus dorsi start to activate. And then as you exhale and push down and forward, you're getting this kind of broadening and opening for the back. So there's a suppleness in the back of the lungs. Okay, so when you pull your hands on the inhale, see if you can pull down towards your knees and almost wider. What does that do to your upper back muscles? And then exhale when you're pushing forward and down, the broadening of the space of the back of the lungs. Now the next time that you're in that inhale position, grabbing the floor like very, very strongly with your fingertips. Keep the base of the index knuckle down. So then you're going to lift up your knees on this one like you're doing a hands and knees position, but without your knees on the floor. Walk your feet almost as wide as the yoga mat. Spin the inner thighs back until you get a curve in the low back, and actually lift your arms up more. Yeah, then release your upper back more deeply as you claw the floor until you get a little bit of almost like a capacity for more back and swing your chest forward. And then keeping the low back curve and the heart swing forward, press your thighs back, straightening them without running the low back. Now, push down with your hands to lift your ribs up, your belly up, and then send the energy down to your heels. Release your neck, breathe. Bend your knees. Step your right foot forward. All right, so let's place the back knee down, hands on the legs. And with the front heel on the floor, we just kind of settle in. Breathe. And then hug the front heel and back knee towards each other, stoking the energy up into the lungs. Lift from hips to ribs, lift the rib cage up, the armpits up, arms in this beautiful open yes position, like this. We lift up the armpits, draw the arms into the blades, and then pivot the elbows to the sky so the blades lift your heart up. Draw the belly in so whole rib cage lifts.
Keeping that, bend the front leg even more. Another breath in. And then release your hands down. The hands can be on blocks. Lift up the back leg, thighs back, legs rooted. We'll open the chest, couple breaths. And then let's take a little bit of a twist, either hand to the hip, or when you take the head and shoulder back, right arm to the sky. Couple breaths here. Release the hand down, either regular down dog, or that interesting version I gave you, where your feet are wide, knees are bent, toning the belly, but the thighs are moving back, armpits up. Release the upper back enough that your upper back's not rounding, and sweep the sternum forward. Yeah, push the floor down, stretch the legs straighter, ribs up, heels down. One more breath. Bend the knees, step the left foot forward, right knee down. Walk your hands onto your leg. As the front heel stays down, we just settle. Deep, beautiful breath into the lungs. Now, when you're in this position, the belly tends to drop, the energy tends to drop, the back thigh pushes forward. So we're gonna hug the heels, the front heel, back knee together, lift from the rib cage up, making more room to expand in the lungs. This time, the arms by your sides, use your arms to lift the whole rib cage up, right? The arms are connected to the collarbone, which is connected to the sternum, which is where the ribs are connected. So the arms lift up, the whole rib cage lifts, shoulders back, turn the arms out, and the blades lift your heart. Now don't dump in your back. We're lifting the back ribs up and breathing here, even as you bend the front leg more. Keep the back of the neck long, fullness in the ribs, and release the hands. Onto the floor, blocks, lift the back knee, groins back, root from pelvis to feet, and open your chest for a full breath. Then, left hand to the hip, stay here, shoulder opener, or arm to the sky, strong legs, throat and shoulders back, and breathe. Release the hands down. Please step into down dog or the wild dog. Good, inhale, plank pose, or plank on the knees. Now claw the floor. Feel like you're pulling the floor up to you. Whoop, stretch the arms straight again. Good. Now do it again this time. As you pull the floor up to you, pull the hands, try to pull them wider at the same time. Yes, lower down. Flatten the feet. Come on, the fingertips. The fingers go nice and wide. They're wider than your mat. You press the feet down, the tailbone down, the knees down, and then draw the low belly up like a flame, up to the heart. Take the arms, draw them up to the shoulders, so the shoulders can flow back. A little turn out of the elbows. You should feel the shoulder blades swoop your chest forward. You don't have to be super high, you can be super low. But the heart's going forward, and then we'll take a full breath with the tailbone rooting and the breath widening across the chest. And then release down, pull back, either down dog or child pose. Couple breaths. In child pose, if you're there, visualize that you could breathe into the back of the lungs first before the front of the lungs fill up. It's just this sense that there is a fullness in even that which we cannot see. There is a healing component that is present on the earth right now, even if we cannot see it. Right? We know that this is just what life has. Life has a healing component, and we're invoking it by actually physicalizing it in our very reality. Let's move back through hands and knees position. Back into downward dog and step the right foot forward again. All right. From here, let's put the back heel down on the floor. Your right arm can go on your thigh, on the block, or on the ground. Hug the feet towards each other as if you're drawing into the kind of fullness, that's our capacity. Ribs back and root down into your feet. Now we'll stretch the top arm by the ear. So it's rather than having it up, see if you can turn the palm down, right by the ear. And then stretch out through the arm and fingers. Keep broadening the front knee off to the side. Even pull the front heel toward the back foot so that the back leg lifts like a flame. Pressing into the feet, turn your chest open more. Now you're going to take your top hand, put it behind the head, elbow points to the screen. As you press your head into your hand, take the armpit back, the inner shoulder back, the head back, and then see if you can sweep the light of your heart to your head more. Belly back, feet down, head back. Now stretch your arm again, see if it's a different feeling. Good. And release. Let's go ahead and sweep toward the middle of your feet. Point your feet straight ahead and bow. Deepen your breath. Again, this is a great position to feel breath in the back of your lungs first. Okay, lift your chest up, turn your back foot in, turn your left foot forward, bend your front leg. Bring either the left arm on the leg, the hand on the floor, or a block. The other arm goes right by the ear. If it's hard to go by the ear, what we do is we turn the palm down, glide the arm back, and externally rotate the arm. Now bring it by the ear or behind the ear. Breathe. Pull the front heel toward the back one so the back leg starts to lift and create more space all along the back of your top ribs. The top hand can go to the back of the head. Use your hand to elongate the spine through the neck. Press your head back, armpit back, inner shoulder back, ribs back, and root down to your feet. Now curl the head back more. Oh, such a good side stretch. Now stretch the arm again, full breath, and then release in between the legs again. Bow forward. And start to roll the shoulders backward, right? So I'll take my head down so you can see. It's like a little bit of a shoulder roll. Swing the chest forward. We're gonna go back to the front leg. On mine, it's my right leg. And then I'll bring the left hand nice and wide, right hand to the hip. Many of you can do this on the left forearm. Okay, so we're going to take the twist. We hug the feet towards each other because this is an affirming of the quality of luminosity inside, quality of capacity and steadiness inside. So we hug in, turn, the top arm goes back, you turn the arm out, shoulder open. So you can stay here or pick up your back foot, hold on to it, kick it back, roll the shoulder back more. Oh, that's delicious. Another option is to now take the hand to the top of the foot, bring the foot toward the buttock. Nice thigh stretch. Yes, you can come on your forearm. Root down to the legs, shoulder back, throat back. Sweep the blades into the heart, breathe into the heart. And release. Lift the back leg. Whoop. Pivot. Keep the front leg bent, but now you're facing the screen. Oh, keep the knee nice and wide. Shift to the other side. Lift up a little bit, pivot toward the other leg. Put the back knee down. The right hand goes wide. Other hand goes to the hip. Rooting into the floor, hug in. Roll the shoulder back. Take the arm to the sky or toward the back foot, shoulder opener. Or pick up the back foot, kick it back, roll the shoulder back. Or foot to the buttock. Shoulder back, twist. Yes, you can come on your forearm. Open it up, back bend, thigh stretch. Breathe. And release. Oh, lift the back leg. Let's step into it, down dog. See how that feels. Good. Lower the knees down. Sit on a block or your heels. Hands on the thighs before we move forward. Lift up, shoulders. The rib cage goes up. Not by pushing the front ribs forward. The back ribs want to be full too. Glide the shoulders back. Lift the sternum. Take a couple of breaths, and you know your lungs go actually above your collarbones. So think bottom ribs, middle lungs, top lungs, fill up with air. And then as you exhale, instead of collapsing, stay full and just let the breath, like a beautiful offering, release down. Good. Now go ahead and lower down onto your back. Knees bent. Palms are facing each other, arms at a 90-degree angle. Press down. Get the shoulder blades to lift. Head of the shoulder to the floor, blades lift. Now just stay here and just keep the chest lifting, but the ribs moving toward the heels. And take a couple of breaths. Then stay here for a few more breaths. We're pressing the inner heels down. Lift the outer hips up. If this bothers your low back, notice if your feet are turned out or roll to the side. Keep the inner heel down, the thighs parallel, the tailbone reaching to the knees. And then keep pressing the elbows down, curl the shoulder blades up. And from the radiance of the heart and throat, send your exhale down through your knees into the inner heels. Keep the heart lifting, lower your sitting bones first. Then place one hand on your belly, one hand on the upper belly, close the eyes. Feel the breath move under your hands. Again, palms face each other, press the elbows down. Press them down, shoulders back. There should be a very big curve under your back. I could put my hand underneath. Now, if it's bothering the low back, we extend the tailbone, the flesh of the buttock toward the heels, but not so much that the low back flattens. Okay? So we're lengthening there, and then lift your outer hips up. Now you can stay here or interlace your fingers, but instead of pulling your arms down, shortening yourself, making the space for the lungs small, armpits to the ears, then shoulders back. Press the arms and inner feet down and breathe into the space of the heart and lungs. Pull the arms toward the head on the inhale and exhale from the throat, stretch out through your knees into the inner heels. Then release your hands, sitting bones down first. Put one hand on the belly, one hand near the heart. Feel the beat of your heart and the vitality underneath your hands. Let your inhale be this capacity as if sending light into every part of your lungs. And the exhale, this ability to rest and renew. Now please roll to your side. We're gonna move into camel variation. So either put a blanket under your knees, you can also fold your mat, or maybe you don't need it. Stand on your knees. You can play with it either feet flat or tucked or on tippy toes. I love tippy toes. Sets up the groins and the low back beautifully. Root the inner knees down, even hug them towards each other. And instead of pulling down toward the heels, use the arm to lift up. Take the head of the shoulder back. So we're not pulling down, we're lifting up. The whole rib cage, shoulder back, arms are free here. And then turn the arms out to lift the shoulder blades. Very easy to just pull the belly forward. We're going to take the ribs back and lift the back ribs so the sides of the pelvis get down lower. Root down to lift up. Open the arms. One more breath. Lifting up, up, up high. And then inhale, come upright. Sit on a block or your heels. Close your eyes. Maybe one hand on the heart. And go ahead and close your eyes to feel. And then once again, stand on the knees, tippy toes if you can. Root the inner knees even as you hug them together. This brings support through the low back area. Then you'll lift up, and here's a great variation. Hands behind the head, like you did in side angle pose. Use your hands to pull the spine up through the base of the skull. Press the head back, armpits back. As you press the head back, don't just lean back. As you press back, invite the muscles that are firing in your upper back to lift your heart up. So legs are strong, hugging in and down. Head back, armpits back, blades lifting. And then start to curl the blades and the buttocks towards each other. Oh, that's delicious. So stay here, or hands to heels. Press the head back, shoulders back, and use your blades to lift up. Breathe into the openness of your lungs, even as your pelvis roots down. Pressing the feet down, then lift up the low back, up your torso, all the way out of the pose. Flatten the feet, sit on heels or blocks. Close your eyes. Stay here, or one hand on the heart, one hand on the upper belly. And feel the breath move under your hands. Good. Go ahead and open your eyes. Release your mat. And if you have blocks, you can use blocks for this one. We're going to step the right foot forward and lift the back knee up. Spin the back heel to the floor. And the front hip, pull it back so your hips are more looking at the short edge of your mat. Press into the front foot and move the thigh back. And this is not really bowing forward on this one. We're just reaching the torso forward and moving the thighs and hips backward. Use the strength of your core muscles to elongate the torso and the pressing down of the feet to get the thighs back. Find a breath or two. Now in this version, you're gonna lift your back heel, spin the heel wide. Ooh. And then take both hips back. If the front leg needs to bend on this one, it's okay. This is widening the low back in case there was any compression. And then we lift the heel up, then the front leg. You can put the back knee down before you switch sides. Left foot forward, back knee up. Spin the back heel to the floor. Put your hands on blocks or the floor. Push into the ball of the front foot and send your hips back. It's okay if the front leg doesn't straighten. And use your fingertips to pull your torso out of your hips toward the head. So it's a two direction, getting rooted and grounded, and yet creating space and openness. This is the work of our yoga practice. This is the work really of our life, isn't it? Keep breathing here. And then we'll lift the back heel, spin the heel to the side of your yoga mat. So it's almost like you're gonna almost do a twist, like a revolved triangle, but the back heel's in a funny position. And then put both hands down. Ooh, it's great for the hamstrings, really good for the hips and the low back after back bends. Keep breathing, so easy to want to hold your breath. And then lift your back heel, bend the front leg, Go into downward facing dog, but the bent knee version, the wide leg version. Armpits up, upper back in, inner thighs sweep back, tone the low belly. You'll stretch your neck and stretch your thighs back. Only as far as your low back doesn't round. We'll take 2 more breaths. Lower the knees down, feet together, child pose. Then climb up and move to your back. Bring your knees into your chest. And without flattening your back, keep a neutral spine, a little bit of side to side. And place your left foot down, your right ankle over your knee, turn the knee out. The foot, you're sweeping the foot so that it doesn't look towards your face, it looks towards the end of your mat. Pick up your leg and either hold a strap around the back of your leg or hold the leg. As you bring the leg in, use your hands and pull the thigh bone down towards your hip so the back is as neutral as possible, and then draw the leg in. As we open our heart space and keep opening and not succumb to this sense of isolation and fear only. It's really easy to tighten in that effort. This is our work of inviting openness, inviting release, inviting this kind of sweet intimacy with allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling and breathing into it. Let's do the other side, please. Left ankle over the right, turn the knee out, turn the sole of the flexed top foot away from your head, and then pick up your leg. Hold the leg, you can hold a strap if it feels too smushy, leg, or hands to the shin. You're gonna pull the bottom leg more to the hip, more to the floor, even as you're drawing it in. Couple breaths here. And then release that. Both feet on the floor, maybe feel a little wider. Rest your knees. One hand on the upper belly, one hand near the chest. And when you're inhaling, I invite you to feel that you're breathing into the bottom of the lungs, the middle of the lungs, and the top of the lungs, even above the collarbone. And then the exhale, go from the top, release the middle, release the bottom. And then do it again, middle, bottom, middle, top with your beautiful full breath, and then exhale, top, middle, down. Do that a couple of rounds. Good. And then go ahead and stretch your legs out straight. Release any efforting in the breath. Move into a Shavasana position. If you need any adjustments for your body, please do. We'll take just another moment of rest or two. It does take a little bit of effort sometimes to actually move our body. It feels like such a time where we just want to collapse and go into a ball. And the stress also tends to tighten around our chest as an energetic protection. You open that area up. You breathe some vitality into the lungs, this very vulnerable place during this time. Allow yourself to rest here. I've offered a video just recently on the Gayatri Mantra, so I'll chant that a couple of times. It is invoking illumination and brilliance and radiance. And this is what we want to visualize in our lungs and in our bodies and in the cellular structure. So as you rest, just listen to the chant just for a few moments. Om Bhurбhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurбhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurбhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. If you're able to spend a little more time in Shavasana, I invite you to do that. Sometimes that's almost more important than any asana we can do, is just to have a time to rest and to be with our own self. But if this is the time that you've allotted, go ahead and sit up now, and we'll finish with the palms together. Sit up tall, close your eyes before we end, and just allow yourself to feel that you have a radiance, and you have then also a capacity to share that radiance, just energetically. Let's take the palms open and forward in this position. May any merit of this practice benefit may all beings benefit. May all beings feel the radiance of their soul, of their spirit, of the vibrancy of their well-being. Namaste. Thank you.